Swap vomit track right here.
Hello,
What's going
beautiful
on?
people.
Welcome.
Hey, everybody in internet land.
We thank you. We thank y'all so much for joining us tonight for another
Thank you.
episode of Marriage is Real
Thank you.
with Damien and
And Jamie Johnson. That's me.
so we're gonna wait a couple of seconds to
Let's
see if we get some more people
see.
joining us. We'll just kind of feel the air for a second. So how was your weekend, Jamie?
My weekend was fine, Damien.
What'd you do this weekend, Jamie?
Uh, oh, it's a
We
wedding.
went
Oh,
to an
yeah, that's
amazing
right.
wedding. We went to a
I'm like, why are
wedding.
you asking me that?
I'm just bringing it in. I'm prepping you and bringing you into the conversation. But yeah, y'all, we went. This was actually our first outing in about 3 years, right?
Since
Like,
COVID,
listen, y'all, we have not been anywhere
2019,
since
2020,
COVID started. So, no,
2020. COVID was 2020.
2020, we didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
COVID was in 2020.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. So
yeah.
it's 2020, 21, 22. Three, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
so it's
Almost
been
3 years.
about 3 years. So my brother, my best friend, he got married this weekend, and so I was given the honor of being the best man. So I sang and serenaded them during the ceremony, and it was just great. No, I
Yeah,
didn't
I know
really.
that ain't true.
But listen, y'all, let me tell y'all something real quick. Just a real quick snippet. It's good to date. It's good to have time. It's good to get away and enjoy just being alone and being with your spouse. Even though we did a quick day trip. I mean, we were there, we left here Saturday morning and came back Sunday, but it was so great.
It was a turnaround trip.
It was a turnaround trip, and I didn't realize, like, when we were going down, I didn't realize how much I missed just like getting on the road and driving like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice.
Was it? Because he was trying to get me to fly. And I'm like, we just going to Austin. It's just a couple hours. We can just take a little road trip,
You,
just there and back. But it was nice. See, it was the right thing. It was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do.
she said that because she didn't have to drive, so it's always
I offered to
nice.
drive like 10 times.
10
How many times I offered you to drive?
twice.
No, I didn't. See, y'all, he be trying
She
to
did.
he be trying to play me when we on these lives because I offered to drive a lot. And
She
he
did
kept saying,
offer to
nah, I
drive.
got it. Nah, I got it. Well, okay, get it, because I don't like to drive.
And I will say that she actually stayed up with me while we were
I did.
driving.
I left my pillow at home and everything and on accident, but I stayed awake.
and usually, I'd be up. It'd be me. It'd be me.
Okay.
It'd be me by myself, and
Uh-huh.
I'd just be singing and talking to myself because she'd be over there like that. But she actually stayed up and
Ooh, my
hung in
battery
there.
about to die. My battery about to die. I'm sorry, y'all. I was not prepared. Preparedness was not my friend tonight. I've been trying to
But
clean and do everything. I got off work late, so
yeah, it's
y'all
been a
just bear with me.
very eventful day. I mean, from this morning getting up, and our daughter's a senior, so there's always something going on. So she had an event at one of the elementary schools this morning. That's what started our day off. Went to the gym, worked, and then we're having a daddy daughter dance for the football game this weekend. So after that,
She's on drill team.
oh
so-
yeah, she's on drill team, and so I had to go and learn this dance. It's gonna be funny, y'all. I'm just
Oh, I'm
saying.
going to record.
So that was that, but it was really fun. She seems like she had a really good time, and just seeing all the other dads with, having positive energy and really wanting to
Right.
be there and support their babies. It was
Absolutely.
really fun. So I
Absolutely.
will say they should have had some refreshments for us. They should have had some bottled water or some pretzels or something to just say, "Hey, dads, we appreciate y'all being here with our old bones, and we're here trying to tootsie roll and kick and jump and all that." And what's the trip is that the last time that they did it, I had injured my back, so my son Jordan had to step in and do it for me. So I'm actually kind of excited about it because I didn't get a chance to do it the last time, and
Right.
it really seems like it means a lot to her.
Yeah,
She
she was happy.
she was.
Yeah.
She told, because her, they like best friends, so I'd be like, so how was your day today? It was good. And then as soon as she come in here after she get out, Mama, let me tell you, and I'm just like, I be trying to
Give me
engage
the
you.
tea. Give me
I
the
be trying to
tea.
engage and be asking questions like, how's it going? What y'all be doing? Oh, well, we did stuff.
But you should know she can't talk. You don't talk to your daddy like you talk to your mama. But anyway, y'all, enough about that.
So just somebody, I see we got some people that have joined us. Let us know where you're joining us from, and then
Hey,
we'll
y'all.
introduce our topic. I see we got a few people that have jumped on. Just
I
let
thought
us
you
know.
already introduced the topic. Oh,
I
you
have
did?
no.
Okay.
I was just filling the
Well,
space right now.
Let's go ahead and introduce the topic.
Let's introduce the topic. Yeah, that was the music to introduce the topic. So tonight, guys, what we're gonna be talking about are decisions. Decisions are such a very important and vital part of life.
Mhm.
You make decisions from the time you open your eyes to the time you close your eyes.
Right.
And so
Hey,
we
Ben
got
and
our
Irene.
first. Let's say hi
How are
to
you?
Ben and Irene Sutter with the Suds Are Us podcast. Thank y'all for joining us
Thank
tonight,
you.
y'all.
Hey, BS3 family.
BS3. If you have Roku TV, please go download the app for BS3 Network, and you can get all this amazing content on your Roku stick. Is it a stick?
I don't know.
It's
on Roku.
On Roku. So if you got Roku, look up BS3, and there's a lot of great content, great content providers, and it's really fun. So y'all go check us out on BS3. Yeah. Anyway, so from the moment we wake up until we go to bed, we're making decisions.
Mhm.
And so I just wanted to kind of tap into that tonight, and I'm trying to be technically savvy. So usually I got a notepad and my pen. I still got my pen in my hand. I think it's just like a thing, but I'm gonna try to do it from a phone tonight. So I'm being sexy savvy.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
So anyway, so decisions are such a very important and vital part of our lives, and for that matter, our relationships.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to talk about decisions and what they do and how they affect us. So as
Mhm.
y'all well know, I'm always going to start out with the definition. So a decision is defined as a conclusion or a resolution reached after consideration. So we hear the word decision, but all that stuff that I just read goes into us making a decision.
Mhm.
Anything? No? Okay.
Mhm.
So I gotta make sure I keep this phone
You
up.
said consideration in something. Say that again.
Defined as a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration.
A conclusion or resolution. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, got it.
So after you've considered it,
Ben, what's up, baby?
Hey, Ben, the founder
President,
of BS3. Hey,
CEO.
y'all. So after you've considered it,
Mm-hmm.
the resolution or the conclusion that you come to is your decision.
Yeah.
Okay. So like if you want to get something to eat, you considering it, do I want chicken, do I want pizza?
Or waffles.
That too. And then once you decide on it, that's the conclusion that you reach to come. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay.
So let's just talk about some things about decisions. Why do we make decisions? We make decisions because
we have to.
Because we need resolution about everything.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go through life without having decisions.
Without making decisions.
Making decisions.
Without making decisions. Okay.
And how do we make our decisions? There are different ways that you can make decisions.
What are your decisions based on? Based on your history, based on your past, based on your trauma, based on your hurt, based on your joy, your happiness. And because decisions do change based on also your feelings. So don't get that twisted but feelings are fleeting because you can make a decision because in this moment I'm feeling good and I'm happy. Y'all know, like women, y'all know we be like, you know what? Okay, I got a little energy right now. I'm feeling good. I look in the mirror like, you know what? I need to wash my hair. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna start this process. And then during the process, you like, I shouldn't have did this. This was a bad decision because it's 9 o'clock and I got to get up early tomorrow. But based on how you were feeling at that time, you made the decision. So I'm saying all that to say it's just not to let our feelings guide us when we're making decisions about life. This too goes to your marriage. So
So I was going to say we make decisions, and you just kind of hit on it. But a lot of times we make decisions either out of emotion or
mhm,
out of being rational.
mhm,
It could or would be said that women make more decisions out of their emotion,
mhm.
and then men make more decisions out of being
Rationality.
rational or
But you know what? I
logical.
think you need both though.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
you definitely need both. But it's like it's so funny when you start to um, form these things and put it together about making decisions. And it's
Hmm.
like I think about when you and I are having disagreements about stuff,
Hmm.
and it's like I'm always like, so A plus B is C, or because I'll say stuff like, because from a rational or from a logical perspective, this and this. And that kind of speaks to how we were made and how we were wired.
And what's funny about that is I think I'm a more analytical and logical thinker than you are.
Mm.
But my natural instinct as a woman kicks in also, that sometimes supersedes that logic and rationale when it comes to the way a man's mind works and the way y'all think. Cause we just be like, what was you thinking? What? How? And it's funny because our son is about to be 22 now, so he's going his
Pew
he
pew.
on that side
So
of
22.
going into being becoming a man and being a man. And it's funny now that he's on this side of being a man, how his mentality has changed about a
Everything.
lot of things. Yeah, yeah. And he
Yeah.
used to be like, I'd be like, you get it? Yeah, I get it. But now he'd be like, but mama, I would have did the
We
same thing.
gotta
He's like,
tell them about
whatever.
the Oreos today.
Let's have my later.
Because it's so funny. Like, so earlier today, uh, I was I left the gym and I was going to I was actually already at the store, and my wife sent me a message and was like, hey, pick some stuff up at the store.
Hmm.
Right. And then so one of the items that she wanted from the store were Oreos.
Hmm.
And so it said, get Oreos. So in my mind, like, so I'm like, okay, I gotta get back home because I got stuff, need to take a shower and all this stuff before I start my day out. So like Oreos, got them.
Hmm.
Get to the house, and she was like, why'd you get these Oreos? I was like, your message said get Oreos. And she was like, we eat Oreo thins because of this, that, and the third. And I was like, oh yeah, we do eat Oreo thins, but I just looked at the text and didn't think much of it. So what's funny is like when she's talking about how his mind and the way he thinks and sees things is changing, it's like we hadn't even had the conversation, but he said almost the exact same thing that I said from earlier about the whole conversation. So it's really very interesting to see how in making decisions as you get older,
Hmm.
your mind starts to change and it begins
Absolutely.
to form into how you were created.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Unbeknownst to you, it ain't, is it? And that's why I always talk about a natural inclination, or the way we are hardwired by God. There's certain things, and we can try to fight it,
We
y'all, and we
can.
can try to be different, and we can try to
That's
adopt the
not me. I'm not
philosophy.
like that.
We can try to adopt the philosophy of all of the people and all of the podcasts and all of the things, but you are who you are to your core. It's nothing. You can take the hormones, you can do the whoops, but to your core there is a natural instinct, there is a hard wiring that makes you you and causes you to choose what you choose and make the decisions that you make. And I tie all this back in to relationships. Even when you're dealing with your spouse, you're dealing with your mate, even if you're not married. The decisions that you make based on this relationship is based on something. Like, what about you makes you do that thing or choose that way? Or if we get into an argument, are you mimicking your mother? Are you mimicking your father? Are you triggered by something that you didn't receive as a child? Now, a lot of this stuff you don't even recognize it. Again, it's unbeknownst to you. You don't even know that you are being this way or acting this way because of these things until later on in your life. And like we always say, you can't grow and be your best self outside of relationships with others, even if they're not romantic, but the romantic relationships really grow you up. That's what I'm saying. They grow you up, y'all. So, but what the point I'm making is, when making decisions within your relationship, do you ever just stop and ask yourself, why? Why am I why
Why I say that?
why am I this
Why
way?
I do that?
Why did I do this? What is making me cuss him? What made me throw this plate across the room at his head? What makes me get in a car and just drive away and don't even tell her I left the house? Like what is it?
Mhm.
There is something that's making you do that. And when we can become self-aware and start to look within and see, like, okay, I can't, it's not all them, because we always point the finger, but there's a part that we play in it as well. Hey, Quinn and DJ, how y'all doing?
Hey, Quinn and DJ.
This was my buddy that I used to work with.
What's up, buddy?
When we did our PPP loans.
What's going on?
Hey, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining. I'm glad you looked over there. Thank y'all for joining. I appreciate
I'll be watching.
That. Okay, great. Yeah, so that what is making you, what is triggering you?
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
So check this out. So we don't realize that how much of a sponge we were when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however old you were, and it's like these little droplets drop in a sponge. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One drop at a time. It's just dropping in that sponge. And what does the sponge do?
It soaks it up.
It absorbs.
It absorbs.
So you're absorbing all of this information. You're absorbing
until a certain point. But go ahead.
You're absorbing all of this stimuli, and all this stuff is coming in you. So now it started externally, but it got inside of you. Mm-hmm. So then, like, to your point, why did I say that? Why did I react that way? Why do I, every time someone says popcorn kernel, why do I go crazy? It's because when you were a little boy, your mom would do popcorn kernels and throw them at you or something, so that affects you when somebody asks you if you want popcorn. Oh no. You go crazy because you think about the popcorn kernels. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
So we're just
example of popcorn kernels.
We're soaking that in all the time. We're just we're baby sponges, and we're just gathering information. And the same thing can be said about trauma.
Absolutely.
Trauma is one of the biggest things that is a determining factor in how we make our decisions about things.
Right.
That played such a big part in our relationship on both sides, because you don't realize, as you are that baby sponge and you're soaking all that stuff up, you become grown, but that little baby sponge is still inside of you. And so and it doesn't go until you wring it out, until you unlearn, until you take that information, take it out and replace it with something good and better. That stuff is still in you and you don't even know it.
You need to get dry.
You need to get dry. Yeah. Put your sponge outside on a Texas day in the middle of the pavement so you can dry your sponge out.
But what I was going to say, to your point, when you think about visuals, if you're thinking about in the sense of a sponge, yes, one drip at a time, the sponge becomes wet, it soaks it up, the whole thing. But a sponge only has a capacity to soak up so much before it also starts to leak. So you don't recognize that all this stuff that you are absorbing, now it's starting to leak out onto others. You don't recognize it because you've been slowly getting wet, and you've been slowly soaking it up, that you don't recognize now that you're spilling out and it's spewing out and you leaking out on other people.
Which poses my question to one of my points. Do our decisions affect others?
Absolutely.
See,
go ahead.
Play so much. So we talk about this all the time about how our decisions have an effect on everyone around us. And you don't think it does, but it's like anybody that is connected to you. Like if I'm holding her hand and she's trying to go to the car, but I'm making a decision not to let her hand go. My decision is affecting her. So when it comes to your significant other, when it comes to your children, when it comes to your family, all those people that are just living la vida loca, they're out here just living their best life, wilding out, doing everything. That's having an effect on all the people that they're connected to. Sometimes, and it happens. It happens, and it's happening in our own family, where the babies are growing up and they're having children and things of that nature, and now we the OGs of the family. So we're looking and we're seeing some of the decisions that we made when we were younger.
Ooh,
some of the
Lord.
things we said. I'm not gonna do this when I have a baby. When I say this is what I mean, and that's what I said. We've done that, said that, lived that, and now the younger generation is coming up behind us, making some of those same decisions that we made. And it's like, at a point, you have to allow them to, not at a point, but you have to allow them to make those decisions, even if and even though that decision is could be costly to them in the long run, is because you try to warn them or tell them about this decision that you're making right here is going to produce this. If you, like, this is the example I always use. If someone told me, if you go down that street, somebody's going to hit you in the head and take your wallet. Okay. The kind of person I am, if you tell me that, I'm going to make the decision. Guess what? I'm not going to go down that street. Right. So many, and it's so funny. We were just talking about Jordan. He said, if you already went, this is what he tells us. If you've already went down that street, why would I need to go down that street and find that out if you've already went down that street for me? And so that's been one of the blessings of
but that's a small percentage of people.
It's a small percentage.
Most people are going to say, well, you know what? We can go to blows.
Or
hit me in my head.
Or let me see. Let me go see. He not down there. He not going to hit me. And he's sitting there like this with something in his hand like this. Yeah. I'm going to hit you. But again,
even though they may think, like I said, they may know and believe that it's there. They
and
still
do it anyway.
Because that's what happened to you. They probably ain't gonna hit me.
Right.
I'm gonna be quick because I got the gas. I can smoke them. I can smoke. Juke, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that. It's like, no. If you go down the street, because I'll let you say it. I said it and I tried it and I did it and it still didn't work.
And the people before me did the same thing. So, and we think we think because it's no, it's me. Because it's me. That result is going to be different. Like no matter, just like if you are running out of gas and someone tells you got 4 miles, your car is going to be completely out of gas. Oh no, my car ain't going to be out of gas because I believe it's not going to be. And your car like, okay, let's see. So you got to know that, as we're allowing our young people to develop and to grow, you've got to allow them to make those decisions, but our decisions do have an effect on others.
So this is just kind of, it's off topic, but it's on topic because it does have to do with decisions, but it was something that we were listening to today, and it just it really stuck out to me when it was said that, dang, how was it said? I wish I could say it the way I'm thinking it to come out of my mouth. It was said that based on your past, based on your domestication, based on your childhood and what you learned, that is what you what's the word when you do it yourself. That's what you not only what you become, that's what you do. Basically, you mimic it. And my mom always says this: you live what you learn. She done said this. I used to be like, why she always say that? Now I see that you do live what you learn. Let's see. Ben and Irene said, we provide the information and oftentimes they make their own decisions. Oh my God. And I know that's wisdom speaking right there.
Already.
And yes, we are seeing this right now.
Our job is as parents and as as adults is to provide, like you said, provide all the information so that they can make an informed decision.
But you know what's crazy about that though? And sometimes, and some parents too, But we, all of these things that we want our kids to do, and we want our kids to listen, and we want them to, you know, be this way and do these things. And it's like, God is like, but you do the same thing. When I tell you to do this, or when I ask you to do this, or when I'm showing you this way, and you saying, well, no, I don't really think that's the way, you know? So he like, can you really feel some type of way? Because I'm your daddy. I'm the parent. You ain't listening to me. But anyway, but what I was saying was the things that you learn, like my mother used to always say, even now, you live what you learn. So the stuff that you see that you don't even recognize that you're doing. Me and my sister was having this conversation not too long ago. And there are so many things that you say and do, the way you talk to your kids, the way you, and this is the biggest piece of it. The main thing is you don't even recognize it in yourself. So when someone is trying to tell you, hey, you a little abrasive, or you everything you say, you seem like you frustrated, you short. And it's like, no, I'm not. I don't do that, because we literally can't see ourselves. So when it comes to like all the things that happen, and I'm saying this about us because in our relationship, in our marriage, we're going on 24 years next month, in like 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
Yep.
In our relationship, things that happened early on, because it's nothing but the grace of God that we still sitting right here today.
Mm-hmm.
But as we were able to stick it out, stick and stay, you look back now and you see exactly what the culprit was. It wasn't just yourself. It was all of these tangible things, all of these things that you pulled from, all of this life that you lived, that you learned from what you lived, and you didn't even recognize that you was learning it. So you don't always recognize when you live in it. So when it comes to making decisions, even in a marriage where it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do about this money? Or what are we going to do about the kids? Or how are we going to raise them? Are we going to whoop our kids? Are we going to spank our kids? Are we going to, we're going to save up? We're going to save $500 a month. We're going to put back this, whatever the decision is that you're making. There is a reason why you are for or against that thing based on what you lived. And a lot of times, like you have people that come from an abusive household. Mm-hmm. There's two extremes. You got the one that goes and does exactly what they saw. And then you have the ones that say, oh, that I'm not going to do that. I won't
because
relive
of
that.
What I saw.
Right. I don't want to.
Right.
That's not going to be, I don't want to do that. But even in that, you don't recognize sometimes that stuff still got on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not doing the exact same thing. So now I'm not hitting her. I'm not slapping her, but I'm still abusive with my words. I'm still a little harsh. I'm still a little hard. I'm still a little, abrupt or abrasive in the way that I'm dealing with her. And you don't recognize exactly you don't recognize what's happening. Go ahead.
And in my head, or in a person's head, it's like, well, I ain't hitting her.
That's right.
But those words hit.
And you feel exactly, but you feel like you're not living. Right. You're not doing that. I'm doing better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, you want to hear some of these comments? Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Let's see. So we see our younger, hard-headed selves in our children. In our children. Yes, we do. Oh my God. And it's like, I want to be mad. And I do be mad, ain't gonna lie. I still be mad. But it's like, can you really? Because that's you.
Right.
And it seems like in those, for those of us who have children and your children are getting older and you're starting to see things, for me, it's like God awakens my eyes to like, this is what your mama dealt with. This is what your mama did, what she was saying. But it also helps me give grace to.
Dang, why you taking my point?
I'm sorry. It helps me give grace to them and have a conversation, because with everything, with raising children, with being married, with working, whatever, the man at the grocery store, whatever it is, a conversation can really like heal a situation. Mm-hmm. Just a conversation. Yep. And it's all in your presentation. Y'all see how I'm coming with them words? They're rhyming. I'm a poet. I didn't even know it. I really didn't know it. But go ahead. You was gonna make a point.
I was gonna say that another thing that affects the way that we another thing that affects the way that we make decisions. There's a book called As a Man Thinketh.
Oh wow.
How much of how we think about things affect the way that we make decisions in our lives.
And I keep coming back to this because why do you think that way about you? Why? Because you live what you learn. Did somebody always tell you you ain't gonna be nothing? Did somebody tell you was black and ugly? Because you black and you ugly. Where they come from?
Color purple.
Come on, finna say now. You don't know that you got to get out now. Did somebody tell you that you was slow, that you was fat?
And then let me hit on that other side because this gonna hit home right here. Sometimes the narrative that we believe about ourselves. Sometimes people around you could be speaking great things and encouraging, and you're wonderful and you're great, but there's a narrative and there's a thing or there's self-talk that we have within that we listen to more than the praises and the accolades that are around us that can affect our decision making, which can in turn affect our confidence about our own selves.
Absolutely. And I think that's human nature though. You know, we're our own worst critic. Like somebody say, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, you this, and you're like, girl, I look old. Girl, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but this is a key piece to that too, because the more you start to tell yourself these things about yourself, you write this story and you create this narrative in your mind as a man thinking about who you are. You don't realize you start to attract those people in your life. And you saying, oh, I want somebody that's this, and I want somebody who's caring. I don't want to have to take care of no man. I ain't trying to be taken care of, these things. But because of how you think about yourself, you don't recognize the decisions that you're making.
Right.
And the way that you present, you are causing people, you are drawing that to you.
And what you say also begins to frame your world. So if you're having these negative thoughts and things going on in your head, now you begin to speak those things because if they are become a matter of your heart, now you start speaking those things start coming out of your mouth, and we create and frame our world with our words.
And what we speak, you hear, and then you start to make decisions based on what you speak into yourself about yourself. Because if you keep saying, well, I'm a person who, I just give love. I'm just a person who, I'm just always giving. I'm a giver. Nobody really gives to me. You know what I'm saying? So guess what you're going to attract? People that use you all the time. Because and in your mind, that's who I am. That's what I do. I'm just a giver. I'm the one that I always call and check on people. I'm the strong friend. People just don't really, check on me like that. I get it. No, that's not true. That's what we've told ourselves about ourselves. And if we don't get into a place to where we can walk in courage to say, you know what, I gotta get somewhere because what happens is, because you've told yourself this story for so long, you become comfortable in who this character that you created, right? As you. So anything that's outside of what you think about yourself is uncomfortable. So you really can never, it's really hard for you to grow outside of the story that you've written for yourself because it makes you uncomfortable. So then you go back to the chicken coop because you don't want to hang with the what them birds called?
Eagles.
I wasn't gonna say eagles because hawks,
buzzards.
No,
pigeons.
Well, let's just say the eagles. You don't want to hang up because eagles soar alone. But I'm just saying, when you up here with these particular birds that like to glide and they, people esteem them and they're paying attention to them and they want to know more about them. I don't like this. So I'm gonna go back down here to the chicken coop where they just throw little stuff, and don't nobody really pay too much attention. And see, I told you, don't nobody care about me. Don't nobody care about, see what I'm saying? But we don't put ourselves in a position sometimes so that we can get outside of the narrative that we've created, the story that we've created for ourselves. Because again, like we were talking about last time, a couple weeks ago, vulnerability. And that's hard for a lot of people. It's hard in your marriage. It's hard to say, hey, I know that I've said to you for these years that I'm like this and I don't want that, which created the decision. I'm gonna talk about us, the decision that the decision that he made to not be as affectionate as he generally, normally, naturally is.
I'm an affectionator.
Because because I told myself that I'm not an affectionate person. We don't gotta do all that hugging and all that. We ain't got to do that. Like, I'm good. I know you love me. We ain't got to do that. So based on what I said, I created this narrative for myself. That's what he started. That's how he started to be.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it's like, well, if she don't want it, I'm gonna leave her alone. But then when you decide, when you see for yourself, like, you know what, I don't like the fact that he not showing me no attention. Like, especially as we mature, I don't like the fact that he's not showing me any attention. Now, how do I, after 15 years, tell this man, okay, well, what I said, remember what I said, I didn't know what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I don't have a problem at all saying, boy, don't think about what I said back then. I ain't even that same person. But before, when I started to really come into this realization of a lot of the stuff that I said wasn't right, it wasn't me, it was based on lived and learned. It was hard for me to come back and then say, I want you to start being more affectionate with me.
And so what happened is, based on her decision, it created a habit for me. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. By the 78,000th time, my mind was like, she don't want you to do that. So now, guess what? That became a habit for me. That now after we had that conversation, it's like she said, I'm not that same person anymore. Mm-hmm. Based on that decision that created the habit for me, I had to go back and unlearn what had become a norm in our relationship.
Because you teach people how to treat you based on what you believe about yourself. And because I believe that about myself, because our family, when I was younger, we weren't really affectionate. We didn't do a lot of hugging and I love yous, and we didn't do a lot of that. It has changed now as we've all gotten older and evolved. But then I come into this person who want to just be like, and it's like, why? But the reality of it is that I really kind of felt unworthy of it, because I never really, I never really was privy to that. So I'm like,
that wasn't your reality.
The way that we love, we understood that we love each other, but we didn't do all of that.
You ain't got to say it. It's just, we just know.
We just know. You know what I'm saying? So then when you come in and you doing all this stuff, and I'm like, why is he doing all of this? Like,
and it made you uncomfortable.
Right. It's like, this is saying.
And sometimes those decisions make us uncomfortable, when in reality, that's really just a normal thing. Right. It's normal for a man to kiss his wife or hold her hand. We ain't got to be doing all that. Okay, my G.
Not my G.
Okay. And so what happens is those decisions and the habit that was created that had to be unlearned did what? It created a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. So our decisions can create ripple effects in our lives. Mm-hmm. And so we have to be aware when we're making these decisions, not to just think that this decision is just for now or for the moment, because that decision can actually go down generations.
Right.
If something isn't done, if it's not corrected, if it's not addressed, if it's not unlearned, if none of those things take place, that same issue or that same decision can have an effect on your great grandchildren. I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. Whoopings.
Oh Lord. Yep.
That's generational.
Absolutely.
in the black community.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
This is generational in the black community. And so and this is the thing. Why? Because it's because your mama did it.
Yep.
And your mama did it.
Yep.
And her mama did it. But when you get down to the root of why that happened or why that took place, is because that decision to whoop your kid went down from generation. This is what we do to our kids. Mm-hmm. This is what we whoop our kids, because that's just the way it's supposed to be. We whoop the kids. The kids get whooping. And then this is the thing, y'all. you can't parent every child the same way.
Right.
You know, just because you did that don't mean that it was right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every kid don't need whoopings.
Sure
Some
don't.
kids you can talk to talk to sternly enough, and it's like they got one.
It's for real.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's all you would have had to do for me.
Me too.
Because I was so hard on myself that I didn't really need to get no whooping. All you had to do was say harsh words to me.
Right.
And I was gonna feel so bad, like, oh my God, I just can't believe I did that. Why would you do that, Jamie?
Right.
Like you know,
especially when
you better.
especially when you're a person that strives to do better or for
Right,
excellence, you
right.
really are harder on yourself. And so, you know, as kids, you know, you get in your mind like, you know, after you got a whooping, you like, you know what? I'm just gonna go talk to them. I'm gonna go talk to them and explain to them. You never thought that?
I never thought that. Nope.
Shh. I was all about solutions. If I can just convey to them out of earnest heart, my heart, in the way that I'm feeling about this whole whooping thing.
Nah.
We're all, because see, decisions. I'm a very rational person. And things don't make sense like that wasn't rational. I was rational at 5, 6, 7 years old. So I'm like, if I can just rationally get them to understand my point, I understand when I do things wrong. I'm a very harsh judge of myself. I will punish myself. And so I went and tried it a few times. Like, you know, you really don't have to, you know, if you just tell me what I've done wrong and just let me just work it out within myself, I'll be okay.
Boy, bye.
And it was like,
if
you don't get out of my face with all of that, you finna get another whooping.
You really finna get another whooping, right? I never thought that. I just always thought I'm gonna be better. They ain't gonna never get a chance to whoop me again, and then you still get another whooping because you done something.
How old were you when you got your last whooping?
My last one, probably 13, maybe 12, 13.
Yeah, I think I was
probably about 12 or 13.
Age.
Yep.
I don't think these kids could have lasted in our time because you know,
baby, these kids now, like that baby that just killed his mama.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so sad. Like it's just like, I mean, what you doing?
Open it.
Okay, I need 2 hands. I need 2 hands.
I was holding it from the bottom.
What was I finna say? We was talking about whoopings, and we was talking about. Oh, I was gonna say too, based on. So I keep going back to us. So some of the things that the decisions that we made early on, based on our lived and learned experiences, caused your breakdown.
Breakdown of what?
The relationship. Breakdown, yes. Breakdown of things personally within yourself, because you made a decision based on your learned experiences. Behaviors. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Your learned behaviors. So then if I said, I don't want you ain't got to be doing all this affectionate, blah, blah, blah. And you say, okay, after the 7,800 time, I'm just going to stop.
That's
so
78,000.
There you go. 78,000 time. I'm going to stop. So he stops. 15 years later, I say, dang, I really do need him to be more affectionate with me. And so I'm going to tell my stylist at the salon, I'm telling my mom and my sister, like, I don't really know what's going on. You know, our marriage ain't the same because he's not affectionate. But did you just see, you forgot about the decision that you made based on your experiences, based on what you told yourself, which is what caused this person. You taught them how to treat you based on that. And now
caused a ripple effect.
Y'all ain't together.
Oh, wow. I'm
just saying, a lot of people get divorced.
That's true.
Based on things based on old used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I tell him all the time, I'm not used to me. I'm not used to Jamie. That's old stuff. Like, come into we got to stay in the now.
And that's a really good point, because you have to make a decision to be in the now and to be current, and not to go back and drag old things from your past into your current situation. You have to really make an effort, and especially if you've been with someone for a long time. And I think another thing that we do as people in relationships is we get so caught up in what we think we know about someone, and we leave it there. It's like, well, that's how they are. This is who they are. And this is the thing. This person could be doing all of the work and all of the making the discipline and doing all the making all the changes to become a better person,
Mm-hmm.
but you still see them through the same lens of who they used to be. Like for example, if someone, let's say someone weighed 300 pounds
Mm-hmm.
and they started keto, so they start dropping in weight like crazy. And then now once they start their keto, they start going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Now they start going to the gym, they start walking. They start walking, then they start running. So they're doing all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and now they were 300 pounds. Now they down to 226. So they done dropped almost 70 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and you still see them as a 300-pound person. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, that's who I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I was. I've changed everything. Like, I can't even fit the same clothes that I
Right.
did back then.
Right.
And
Right.
but you're still seeing that person through that same lens of how they used to be. You have to make effort to see that person. You have to make the decision
Mm-hmm.
to see that person for who they are and who they're and then encouraging them
Yep.
to be to who they're trying to become on their way. Because sometimes if we make the decision to say negative or derogatory things or old things, that can tear them down as they're
Right.
making a decision to be a better person and to
Right.
change.
And what's making you, again, based on these decisions and this lived and learned experience, what's making you see them that way? It's something in you that causes you
It's something in the other person.
the
You said something in you.
making you see what's making you not see their change.
Right. So it was something inside the other person that
Yeah.
they're not being able to see them in the change
Right.
that they're making.
Right.
Okay.
Is it pride? Is it
Jealousy?
jealousy? That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You know, envy. Is it this person's change is it's gonna have to cause me to change? Like, what is it about this
Right.
that's causing you, or why are you making the decision not to acknowledge the change? Because you can't tell me you don't see it.
Right.
Somebody that went from 300 pounds to 220, you see a 70-pound difference.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Ooh,
what's
that's 80. I did them numbers wrong.
I mean, 80 pound difference. You said 226. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Almost. It was, approximations. But what is making you not acknowledge the change in this person? Because a lot of times in relationships, a person could really, really be changing and trying to be remorseful and show you and apologize and do things. What can I do? But you still just keep holding on to used to stuff,
And
to the used to years.
And they could be trying to change for you. They could be
Right.
doing all that stuff because, when we're together, when we intimate, you too heavy on me.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a trigger in that
Is what
in
the
that person.
partner said.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so now I don't want that for her. I'm not trying to hurt her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then you start doing all this stuff. Like, they might be doing that, making a decision to change for you based on what you said.
Mhm.
And sometimes all you need to do is make a decision to acknowledge it and say,
Mhm.
hey, love, I really see you looking good to me. I can tell your Tabo is working, all the stuff that you've been doing. And I appreciate you hearing me, because as you say all the time, women want to be heard.
Mhm.
I appreciate that. And now I want to let you know that I see you. And
Mhm.
sometimes that's all a person needs, is to know that you even acknowledge that you see that the decision that they're making is having a positive effect on the relationship.
Right. Absolutely. So again, but I just wonder, and a lot of times it is pride, y'all. I'm just telling you, it's so much pride and ego.
In relationships.
Because this is the thing, you could know that this person is different, but you keep holding on to something that happened 10 years ago. Like, why? Or if you have decided to stay here and to be with me,
say that again.
if you have decided decisions to stay here and to be with me, why do you continue to hold on to this thing when you know that I'm no longer this person? Because now there's some cases where you will stay and decide, and that person is still just trash. I'm sorry. There's no other way to say it. They're just a terrorizer. But you're making the decision to stay in that situation. Totally different thing than what I'm talking about now. If you know that this person is making the efforts and the strides to change, yeah,
Mhm.
that happened 10 years ago. Okay, so since that time,
What it look
let's say,
like?
so what okay.
What did it do?
How what is it now?
Right.
So why are you still talking about
Right.
something or holding on to something? See, now is it really about them or is it about you?
Right.
So now it's like, okay, so what about it in my past? What am I holding on to? Why? Where do I get this grudge holding from? Where do I get this pride? This why am I unwilling to be accountable for the part that I played in the thing? Maybe you didn't play a part, but again, if you're choosing to stay there with this person, there's a reason why. It takes two people, y'all, to make or break a relationship, regardless. That's just what it, because if it's just one person that's just being a terror, that ain't a relationship anyway. So we talking about a real relationship. It takes two people to make it or to break it. So what I don't understand, I don't get it. Why don't you, what's making you not acknowledge this person being different? Maybe maybe sometimes it's just like I can't be with you. But that's something you have to be real about yourself and just say, okay, I can, maybe you can forgive them, but you can't move on from it. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
if that's the case, then you got to make a decision for your life and theirs. How are we going to move forward?
Mhm.
Because this is unproductive and nobody wants to live like that.
Mhm.
We have a comment down there. Hey, Julia.
Hey, Julia, thank
How
you
you
for
doing,
joining us.
friend?
One
So
of
good to
our
see you.
cornerstone.
Thanks for
followers.
joining. Let's see. So sometimes we intentionally don't want to see the changes in others because maybe we haven't changed or not willing to change ourselves. Exactly.
That's good, Julia.
Exactly.
That's real
so
good.
you're not wanting to acknowledge it because you
I
know
wish I could give you some hearts for that comment, Julia.
because right
That's real
because
good.
you know that if I acknowledge their change, then guess what? I got to be accountable and I got to do some change.
And guess what you might not want to do? You may not want to make a decision to change.
You don't want to make a decision change. You just want to be how you are. And that's fine. Be you how you are. But you might be who you are
By yourself.
with you. With who you are. So yeah. So anyway, I'm really what is it?
No, you took all my notes.
Oh, did you need them? You can go back. I just was trying to make sure that I didn't miss nobody.
No, I had a
comments.
whole bunch of stuff wrote down, but let's see.
He always writing extra stuff. But what was I gonna
Let's
say?
hit this real quick.
Okay.
Do you think you should make decisions? Should you involve other people outside of your relationship in making decisions? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it depends on, that's not, to me, that's not a black and white thing. I think it depends on what what we're trying to decide.
Because I was listening to a podcast the other day and they said it was a bunch of men. I don't even know if any of these people were married, but they were saying that you should only talk to your spouse about pretty much all your decisions. You shouldn't talk to your I think there was like, should you talk to your mother about certain decisions? And one of the young ladies was saying you should be able to talk to your spouse about everything. And then one of them was saying, I talked to my mother about the decisions.
Okay.
So,
and again, like I said, I think that to me, it's nothing wrong with you talking about maybe options or trying to get some. See, that's the piece. A lot of people don't get no godly, wise counsel.
right.
So y'all just talking amongst yourselves, and both of you crazy. That ain't helping nobody.
Right.
So, and then depending on what we're trying to decide, sometimes you got to go outside of the relationship because we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
We ain't came up against that part of our lives yet to say, okay, well, when we make this $1 million, how should we whoop de whoop whoop? We can't help each other in that area because
we can spend it.
Because neither one of us know. We on our way to millionaire status. In Jesus' name, I'm speaking it down. Come on, bring it down, Jesus. So when we get there, we have to implore the wisdom of others to make some decisions about how we're going to move forward with this $1 million.
Shoot. Millions and more.
And more. abundance. Hallelujah. But to me, it like I said, it depends on what we're trying to decide. Now, if it
Mhm.
comes the based on what it is, if it's like your sex life,
Mhm.
if it's
And that's what
something like that.
I would say. It depends on what it is because you have to be very aware of what and who you let in your relationship.
Absolutely.
If you have a, a like you said, a wise mother that's going to give you good counsel, and let me say this, she's going to hold you accountable.
Yes,
You see what
Lord
I'm saying? Not that
Jesus.
she just agrees with everything that you say and do. She gonna say, Chantel,
Mm-hmm.
you was wrong for that.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't being respectful to your
Right,
husband.
right, right,
But if
right,
your
right.
mama be on that BS and be like, girl, you should have stabbed him.
Uh,
She may not be the one you need to be talking to. So I
right.
think, like you said, it's on a case by case basis. But sometimes, an outside person could be a therapist. It could be
Absolutely.
a marriage coach
Yep.
because we reach impasses in our relationships sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and you need somebody. Like I could be saying, this fan is red, and she say, no, it's not red, it's gold. Well, both are true because the fan has red and gold on it, but you need somebody else that's not emotionally tied to or involved in your relationship, that can offer you good counsel based on not being tied to it in an emotional standpoint.
Right.
Because when your heart is involved or you're tied to someone that you have an affinity for,
Mm-hmm.
it can cloud. Sometimes it can cloud your judgment,
Shit, yeah, not
and
sometime, most
you
time.
can't hear or listen to what's being said just because
Objectively.
objectively, just because of who it
Yeah,
is.
that's so true.
You see what I'm saying?
That is so true.
So I think that's what I think about it. I think you can absolutely uh, consult the right people
Right. And
and
you
help
once
you
you
with your
consult
decision
them,
making.
you're getting now this is the piece. You're getting information and all of the knowledge so that then y'all can make the decision. You two together are going to
Yeah,
make the final decision,
yeah,
but you're getting outside counsel and outside help to help for you to facilitate making the decision. That's
yeah,
different,
yeah.
you know.
That's good.
So,
I see Juliet got us another comment. Let's see what she says. I feel like people will tell you, if it was me, I would do this, or that I would say, or that I say, pray and ask God to show you if you should confide in, and that's going to give you good godly advice.
that's true too. She's saying, she feel like people gonna tell you this or that. But she's saying pray and ask God to show you, and if you should confide in the person, and if they're gonna give you godly advice. That's very true,
Yeah,
Julia.
more
Because
hearts.
people gonna say they
Yeah.
gonna tell
If
you
it was
all this stuff.
me,
They go,
this is what I do.
yeah.
I would have stabbed him.
And see, that's the thing you got to know about yourself is the decision that you're making to go talk to who. Because a lot of people, y'all, do think about this. How many times do you talk to somebody? Y'all can talk all the time, and then as soon as they make a decision that they know that you're not gonna be on board with, you don't hear from them no more.
Silence.
Or you might hear from them, but they don't tell you about that. And you
Or
heard from it from Susie down the street, like, I just talked to her, she didn't tell me.
or they went ahead and made the decision. Ain't even consult you at all.
But I mean, girl, because man,
I knew you was busy. I knew you didn't have time to talk to me about
you
that.
talk to me about
Everything else.
you know what I'm
But
saying?
but really and truly, you didn't want to help on that decision because you
Right.
already wanted to go down there and to
Get
the
hit in the head.
yeah. That's right. You already knew that you was going to stab him. So that's why you in call over here, because we're gonna say that's a felony.
Right.
Don't
go to
do that.
jail. Don't go to
Don't
jail.
do that.
Your kids need you, baby.
That's an
Well, y'all,
hour.
it's been real. That's been a quick hour.
Please go follow us on YouTube at Marriage is Real. Go follow us.
Please.
Come on, y'all. We need some more numbers. We need numbers so we can get on some of these platforms and talk to these folks. You know what? We should do another deal. I think we should talk. I think we need to circle back around on submission.
Why?
Cause it's a
You
hot
just wanna
topic.
You just
It's a
trying
hot.
boy, going on.
We finna get on TikTok
We
too.
got the it's there. It's already out there. They can just
No,
look
but
at
we
it.
need 2.0.
Submission 2.0.
2.0. That's what we gonna call it. Submission 2.0.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Marriage is Real with Damien and
Thank you
Jamie.
guys. We love y'all. We
Tune
appreciate y'all
in
so much.
on the BS3 network on
So
Roku,
much.
on your Roku stick.
Your Roku stick.
And if you guys ever need us, you can find us on all social media at Marriage is Real for coaching and all that good stuff. We love y'all, and we are going to be out of here.
And trays.
Swap on the track right here.